3, 2, yeah.
Video games are something that people see as a recreational thing that they can use for fun. From a cult classic and worldwide phenomenon, Super Mario Brothers, to now industry titan that is Call of Duty. Many people like to engage in these video games and have fun with what they are doing. Now, this is all naturally fun and games, but in certain cases this can become bad. And this is where a lot of people have misconceptions about how violent video games can alter and affect the moods of younger children. I believe that it is not the violent video games that affect these children. It is rather instead the lack of guidance that these children have. So I'd like to go over the extreme cases in which this does affect children, the laws and restrictions which prevent children from accessing these games on their own, and how we can empower the parents and put it in their hands of what their children are doing so that they can be more confident. So, to start off, there are extreme cases where video games can affect the mood and the violence of these children. Such as the case in like Sandy Hook, a big national tragedy in a sense. A lot of controversy came out after it was found out that this man played Call of Duty for hours on end. But people immediately decided to take to attacking the video game developers and what they were creating instead of looking at other factors that it caused. This shooter had a history of mental health, and he also had a bad family background. Now, if you pair this with something like Call of Duty, then of course there are going to be some cases where there is a negative outcome. This was the same for someone who may have played Grand Theft Auto for hours on end and decided to go on a shooting spree much like that. But these are very small, minute cases that are extreme in a big sense. These do not reflect the majority of anybody who plays these games. Most people can play these games and not have to worry about any of these side effects that people decide to give them. In addition, there are laws and restrictions that prevent children from getting their hands on games like this. You have to be at least 17 to purchase a mature game, and with that in place, there's no need for parents to worry about their kids getting their hands on a violent game without them knowing about it, because most likely the parents would be the one buying it. So with this put in place by the ESCRB, which is the games rating system, there's this sense of safety in that. So this is where I believe we should put it into the parents' hands and empower them. I believe that when we have these 17 plus games falling into the hands of 8-year-olds, that there is a disconnect between these children and their parents. Now, violent video games aren't inherently bad if there is a perception taught that there is reality and fantasy. And if this perception is taught and given in small doses, then kids can learn the difference without having to turn out aggressive or anything such as that. So, to review, I want to say that there are extreme cases, but they do not reflect the whole of this whole gaming community. There are laws and restrictions that prevent kids from purchasing these violent games. And if we put it in the parents' hands, we don't have to really worry about these things to continue. So, in conclusion, I have to say that I don't think we should blame video game developers, but rather, instead, empower the parents and have them take control of what their kids are dealing with. Thank you.